Joining me with further details is Brad Racino of inewsource. Welcome back. Brad, this charity is more than 30 years old. So how did you come across this story now?
Well, as you know, Supervisor Horn is running for his 6th and final term as county supervisor. So during our due diligence public records search, we usually do backgrounds on candidates. And what I was doing was looking at real estate records. And something that came up during that search was this Basic Faith Foundation. And we looked into it a little bit more and saw that there is a state tax lien against this nonprofit, which is kind of odd because a nonprofit doesn't pay taxes. So we found that kind of strange and decided to look into it a little bit more. And after a couple weeks, we got some documents from the Attorney General, the Secretary of State, the IRS, and the State Franchise Tax Board. And all of this kind of put together this strange story of this charity that was in operation for decades that no one seemed to know about. And the more we looked into it, the weirder it got.
And in fact, Horn says that he hasn't used the charity for 20 years. So how come this is a big deal?
Well, for one, Horn says that, but then in another sentence he says that he did use it in 2000 during a luncheon, a National Day of Prayer luncheon held at San Diego's Town and Country Hotel, where presidential candidate Alan Keyes came in to speak. So the reason that this is interesting to us is that Supervisor Horn is running for election and is going to be overseeing billions of dollars in county budgets, and as well as the millions of dollars he oversees on all other boards. So this story really speaks to how he handles money, how he handles taxes, and we think that's important for the public.
You interviewed 5 legal experts for this story. Is there one thing in particular that they all seem to agree on that maybe stood out?
There's one. They all took issue with Horn saying that he didn't have to file these Form 990s with the IRS, which are disclosure statements, annual disclosure statements. Horn told us that he's running a public charity. And it's kind of important, there are 2 different kinds of charities. There are public and there are private. A public charity gets most of its donations from the public. It's out there raising money. Horn told us that he didn't want people to find this charity, that this was a personal thing. So if it indeed was, it doesn't really make sense. And if it was the other kind, the private foundation, those foundations or those charities are required to file every year with the IRS. So either way, our experts told us he had to have filed these 990s, but he admits that he did not.
And what's next now?
We're going to follow the story.
All right. inewsource Brad Racino, thanks very much.
Thank you.